Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with another installment of Mutant Monday. That's right, 2 Mondays in a row. Who'd have thought? Anyway, so this Monday, as X-Men #1 came out just this past week, we're going to be looking at X-Men #1. And in the roundup, I did make a point of showing off that the wraparound cover, and you know what? I'm going to do it again. Because I can. Yeah. Alright, so what happens? It's very much the team comes together type of thing. Though the team has already been we've already got the team announced, so no, it's not a case of. It's more the team. Okay, it's more the team moving into a new headquarters. But we do get some interesting bits like a potentially set up new villain, a man named Fei Long, who is undoubtedly unhappy with the fact that mutant kind just terraformed Mars. We've got then, of course, one of the big things is the treehouse. We get a nice little bit with Ben Urich interviewing Cyclops. Turns out, working on the tech within the treehouse, you've got both Sync and Forge. Sync has synced himself up with Forge's powers, so you basically got two Forges working on the treehouse. And there's, of course, a write-up. Their new X-Jet is either going to be named Thunderbird or the Proud Star. One thing that you find kind of interesting is that if Laura, Wolverine, is living there, then I presume that she's dividing her time living in the treehouse and living on Krakoa with her sister, but, well, yeah, we'll see. So, first off, the write-up on the treehouse. How the treehouse came to be is an interesting story. The White Queen rocked the New York real estate world by wielding her superpower, her checking account. The terms of the billion-dollar deal were not disclosed, however. Emma Frost has said, as a former member of the X-Men, I am proud to be able to make sure that our home world has a team dedicated to its preservation in one of my favorite cities. It's a reinvestment of much of the money from the sale of Krakoan medicines. The existing structure was taken down overnight in total silence, and the mutants began working the land in preparation for the arrival of the treehouse from Krakoa. Cyclops and Jean met with Forge, Cypher, and Krakoa to review what will be needed for a permanent home for the X-Men in Manhattan. Rather than waste months on design, Krakoa grew a special small tree that would become the landmark at the southwest corner of the Central Park 86th Street transverse. As the ideas began to take shape, Forge began binding the young seedling into a bonsai tree, not with copper but with bespoke cables packed with technology, which would grow in parallel with the tree. Tempo's gift was in aging the small bonsai tree. It should be noted that both Tempo and Forge were almost named the inaugural Krakoan X-Men team. They were both happy to serve on the creation of this new living headquarters. Once everyone was happy with how the tree looked, it was transported with care to Manhattan, where Tempo turned the 18-inch tree into one that was over 18 stories. It is believed to be the greenest structure in the world and a boon for local wildlife. The Audubon Society is reeling from the side of a snow owl that appears to have moved into the canopy. Seneca Gardens is a free, open park space for the people of New York City, with Krakoan technology highlighting mutant achievements and a memorial to great mutants who are no longer with us. The X-Men hope you'll visit when you're in Manhattan. Okay. So, something crash lands into New York, because it's New York. There's always something falling from the sky. It's a creature. Some kind of giant techno-organic thing, and it's strong enough to punch Rogue through multiple buildings. So the rest of the X-Men go to take care of it. It may be made of metal, but it's not a metal that Polaris can control. And it has um, a basically a psychic weapon. Jean does what she can to protect the minds of everyone, of as many people as possible in the affected area. Sync and Polaris work together to make a mech to fight the creature in. And they manage to do some damage before Wolverine leaps into the hole they managed to make. And they do manage to take it down, with their mech becoming a new lighthouse for the Krakoan archipelago. We are becoming a lighthouse. It turns out that the weapon was designed to affect only mammalian brains. And we learned that it was sent from Game World, where the worst people in the universe come to have the best time. I'm kind of thinking this is where the Profiteer used to... this used to be run by the Profiteer. But yeah, there was apparently a major bet to, destroy the people... basically to wipe out the people of Earth, so that Earth could be taken over by a more evolved society. Because, well... the idea being, you don't want to destroy the planet. The planet's useful. The people, on the other hand, hell with them. Among those in attendance at Game World is the High Evolutionary. Then we get Ben Urith's write-up. Everyone is talking about the X-Men these days, or to be more precise, mutantdom. Since not every mutant is a member of the X-Men, I didn't always make the distinction. I'm not one of those people that's up in arms about Mars, or, to be more precise, Arakko. Do I wish they hadn't claimed it? Perhaps. The United States didn't claim the moon when we last walked on it. For all mankind, what most people will recall being said about that achievement, if you're an old-timer like me. Conservative talking heads have been yelling themselves hoarse that the planet could be used as a staging area to invade Earth, which doesn't quite track for an island of superpowered people who, until last Wednesday, were living on Earth. Emma Frost's Hellfire Gala was both a special success and an unexpected setback. The UK has decided not to continue with its trade agreement, and fewer countries recognize Krakoan sovereignty now than before the gala. Love 'em or hate 'em, the mutants are certainly having their moment. We had planned 6 pages of coverage in the front of the Daily Bugle and hastily expanded it to more than 24 pages of the terraforming of Mars, or Arakko. Gonna take some getting used to. Which brings me to this afternoon. I took the A train uptown to 86th Street, and if you haven't done that yet, I recommend you spare a few minutes from your day because you'll have your breath taken away by the newest high-rise in Manhattan. There's an honest-to-God treehouse in the middle of Manhattan. It might have been my imagination, but the birds seemed to sing louder and the air smelled fresher. This is the new headquarters of the Heroes of Krakoa, the X-Men. I have my concerns about any group of people with powers beyond man, and I have my own thoughts about what the mutants have done with Krakoa. But that's a story for another time. Today I looked up at the treehouse and had a thought I just can't get out of my head. A treehouse isn't threatening. Over the years, New York has been home to many different, well, let's call them by their legal names. Vigilantes. It wasn't that long ago that the Inhumans had their city floating above ours. New Adeland may be anxious to look at it. I kept waiting for it to drop from the sky. And don't even get me started on the Sentry's Watchtower. Remember that guy? Or has the superpower to be forgotten? I don't know where he is now, but the point of this story is, I do not miss that damn building. The X-Men's home isn't even the tallest building along Central Park West. So that's my hot tip of the day. Check out Seneca Gardens, a green space wholly owned by the Krakoan government. But it's not listed as an embassy or consulate. It's a park that has some technology. It has some technology I don't quite understand. It is both a memorial to fallen mutants and to Seneca Village, which was seized from largely black landowners when Central Park was created in the mid-19th century. If the mutants have some grand design to take over the planet, they're doing it with kindness, and we could all use more of that. Let me know what you think about the treehouse. Ben. Elsewhere in the issue, we learn that, potentially speaking, our potential new villain introduced in the beginning is experimenting with genetics, making creatures and trying to make them as strong as possible. So far, each new one simply lasts a little bit longer than the previous one. But he's mostly curious about the fact that mutants seem to have overcome death, which was in fact a major question that Ben Urich asked Cyclops early on during their talk: is how is General Carnation alive? There was no doubt that he was dead when he died, but yet now he is alive and well, hale and hearty. Anyway, it's a strong first issue. It'll be interesting to see where things go. I think that some of the potential criticisms that were leveled at the book beforehand, namely that it was going to be more of the standard superhero fare, so kind of we've done all this crazy stuff with Krakoa, and now we're just going to step away from it completely. I think that was turned out to be... I don't think that's going to truly be the case. I think you'll still get quite a bit about concerning the politics of Krakoa, possibly from just a different angle. But I still think the lineup is a little bland. Bland doesn't feel right, but it's just safe, I guess. There's no one on the team that the worst you've got when it comes to histories on the team are Wolverine was an assassin for early part of her life. Polaris is the daughter of Magneto. Rogue used to be part of the Brotherhood, and Sunfire has had a few heel turns. Yeah, okay. Everyone has their, but none of them have like huge villain arcs. You don't have anyone on the team who is largely known as a villain. In fact, Wolverine's past as an assassin is one of those things that isn't talked about. People know there's a female Wolverine. That's all. And she does seem to have the same, at least similar powers to the short hairy guy. So, yeah, that's what people know. So yeah, it's. I think Sunfire's heel turns have been a bit more public, and Cyclops' post AVX heel turn was also fairly public. But even then, with Cyclops, he's Cyclops. Like, okay, he had a heel turn. With Sunfire, it is a little more pronounced, but still, yeah. I do still feel like it's kind of a safe team. But I don't. But while it does feel safe, I don't mind it so much. I don't mind it. It's a solid team, and I think there are going to be some very interesting ways of combining powers with it. That'll definitely make for some interesting reading as well as some interesting visuals. But anyway, that's all for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.